Mainly on four main pillars. I call it 4 C's. The first one is critical thinking, practice of solving problems and offer solutions. Second is creativity, practice on thinking outside the box and share your creativity with others. Third is collaboration, practice on working together to achieve a common goal. The last is communication, practice of conveying ideas quickly and clearly. A well-designed performance management process helps employees understand how their work contributes to the overall success of the company's strategy and goals. This connection makes employees know what is expected to keep them focused on the most impactful activities that provide real value to the business. From the practical side, let me introduce you Engineer Yahya Karkit, business partner of LG in Egypt. Before we start interviewing with him, let us have a small hint about LG worldwide by watching this video.
Earth, as far as we know, it's the only planet which sustains life in the universe. A thin blanket of air has played a fundamental role in the genesis of life on Earth. When our ancestors blew air out of their lungs, they never realized that a little blow of air would shape the destiny of the human race. It transformed our civilization and gave birth to today's modern world. Industries today meet all the needs of humans to lead a better life. But have you ever thought about how these industries live up to our needs? It is easy to squeeze out paste from the tube, but have you ever thought how that paste got inside the tube? How do fast-moving trains brake with precision? How do we launch rockets into space? How do we produce life-saving medicines? How do we produce the food and beverages we enjoy? We do it with air, compressed air. Air compressors are the lungs of such industries, breathing life into the next chapter of human triumph. And that's where we come in. And for over 60 years, LG has engineered the full range of technologically superior compressed air systems, which are the life source of today's modern industries, where we promise to stay always better. Our reciprocating compressors have enabled small businesses with decades of reliable operations, while our screw air compressors are powering the core of the industry at the lowest operating cost. Our oil-free compressors are supporting the most critical applications with efficient, clean air. Our portable and skid compressors are promoting life in the remotest areas with utmost reliability. Our centrifugal air compressors aid high-capacity production with the latest technology. At any given moment, there are more than 2 million LG air compressors running in more than 70 countries across the globe, propelling the world towards a better future. Our manufacturing infrastructure is at the core of our success and reflects our beliefs in quality and innovation. commitment to being always better means we tirelessly pursue better quality standards and invest to ensure greater control over our systems and processes. We believe technology will propel us into the next century, and thus, we've invested in technology that will build the air compressor of the future. Our technology and commitment to quality allows us to offer our customers the lowest ownership cost experience in the world. We believe that responsibility should be embedded in our product's DNA. Hence, our compressors expel the least amount of oil into the atmosphere. We're about upholding our legacy of over 60 years with the power of innovation. We're about keeping promises to our customers with the tireless dedication and commitment of our people. We're about bringing the next revolution in human history. LG, always better.
So back to our discussion, let me introduce you Engineer Yahya Karkit. He's going to give us more information about LG International.
Most welcome to meet you. My name is Engineer Yahya Karkit. I'm graduated in 1987 as electrical engineer from Alexandria University. And my professional history moved from technical side to commercial side as a sales, as purchasing or foreign purchasing, plus the business of agencies. In 2015, we agreed as an Egyptian partners to launch our engineers company to serve the industrial sector with utilities equipment. And in that time, we put a criteria to how to choose the international partner to move in our market. This partner or manufacturer has reliable products, had the ability to compete the prices and technical specs in our market. Plus, he has a lot of varieties and he can serve a many of applications. In that time, we found LG is an excellent partner, and we visited their super premises in India, and we saw in that time that they can manufacture and sell and serve a lot of air compressors types, like screw compressors, oil injected or oil-free models, plus the piston compressors for many of applications, high pressure or railway or. So in that time, we agreed with them to start a partnership relationship. And I think and I believe that our results is moving from a good point to another positive point. And our market share has increased from year to year in different applications.
So back to our topic, referring to your huge experience as a businessman, how do we add value to our business?
One of the main importance to add value to our business is to submit a quality of service. And we in Arab engineers believe that we should submit the service as we wish to receive it. So our team working on some principles like high response, starting from how to receive the customer requests. After that, we have to submit to them the qualified products that give our customers reliability.
My second question is, how do you maximize the value of a business?
First, we need to ensure that all of company employees knows very well company objectives, and we utilize their qualifications and utilize company resources in the best way. That depends on a very high communication skills and flexibility of the team, and through coaching and time management. And of course, we have to make a lot of our performance and take the corrective actions.
So my last question is, how does performance management impact business success?
Actually, in the tough markets, we need or we have to make a lot of reviews to our performance and take corrective actions. And as you know, globally now over the world faced a lot of problem regarding COVID-19. So everyone or every business unit need to make performance reviews and take the corrective actions.
So adding to what you just mentioned, good management means employees are more engaged, more committed and more productive, which means higher employee retention, reduced absenteeism, and continuous improvements in service quality, customer satisfaction, and overall performance. So by this, we come to the end of our discussion with Engineer Yahya, and we thank him for his participation with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We will continue by introducing Dr. Magid Naguib, HR consultant, and a detailed session about performance management as a gap closing strategy, moderated by Professor Bulanas Tuta, President of MTC Global India.
Dear participants, managers, colleagues, and professors, welcome to your free online symposium entitled Understanding Performance Management as a Gap Closing Strategy. This is a free online symposium organized by Top Talents and sponsored by MTC Global. This is Magid Naguib. I'm an AUC lecturer, freelance trainer, and management consultant. I'll be with you for the coming couple of minutes, or half an hour, discussing this interesting and new topic, understanding performance management as a gap closing strategy. If you'd like to start this gap closing strategy by the performance management, but from where to start? Yes, the starting point is usually when you start doing business is the organization strategy. And here we mean by the vision, mission, and values of the organization, where we can build our models later on. The second thing, or the second step, is going to the organization structure, or what is called the organization chart. And here it discusses the more detailed about the reporting lines of authority. And this is a very important point where at this step, some organizations start doing a restructuring, where they start looking for this strategy, and then which org chart, is it divisional, is it functional, is it matrix, is it hierarchy, is it flat organization, that can achieve their strategic goals. By this step, we are now ready for the third building block, or the strategy, the structure. And the third one is the job analysis. Here, the job analysis is a very important step as a building block for all the HR functions, as we are going to see later on. And by doing the job analysis, we end up by two important products, namely, number one is the job description, and the second one is the job specification. Here, as we mentioned, the job description will be detailing in duties, tasks, and responsibilities. And here we have to add some KPIs or key performance indicators, as we are going to see later on, in order to measure to what extent these duties, tasks, and responsibilities are performed according to the standards of performance. The other arm is the job specification. And here it describes the person who is going to fill the job in terms of KSA, which is again knowledge, skills, and abilities, which are collectively known as competences. And as we define competences, these are knowledge, skills, abilities that enable performance, and also known as the KPIs or the key behavior indicators. As we see, step 1, 2, and 3 are the cornerstone or the building block upon which we are going to build all the HR function. Namely, we start with the manpower planning, where we are going to discuss the demand and supply and the vacancies within the organization chart we are going to fill later on. After this step, we are now ready to go for the recruitment. And here we mean by recruitment, building a pool of qualified candidates. Here we are calling people to join the pool, and here people are going to submit their CVs or start filling the application form. By now you have a large pool of qualified candidates. Here comes this second step, which is the selection. The selection process comprises different things. It may start with some sort of testing in order to check the competences of the candidates. Maybe also having this competency-based interview, which is known as the CBI. Based upon the competences, we start formulating questions in order to check the competences within the candidate and to see whether he is fitting for the job or not. After that, you make your offer and start the hiring process. And here you hire the person with the competences matching with the standard competences required for the job, written in the job description, so job specification. After the hiring, the person will be submitted again for a very important function of the HR, which is the training arm, which is also known as the orientation or induction training or job shadowing whatsoever, in order to have these new hire matching with the standard competences required by the job specification. After this training, now this candidate is ready to perform. Start doing duties, tasks, and responsibilities as mentioned in his or her job description. And here come the important third function of the HR, which is our main topic for today, which is the performance management. And this is a very important thing and a very important tool, linking all the HR functions with each other and linking it again with the organization strategy, as we are going to see later on in today's symposium. In the performance management, it is not just measuring the performance of the candidate, but it is an integrated system, ensuring that each individual is working again towards the organization strategy. But again, here we are going to measure two important things within the performance management. The first is the duties, tasks, and responsibilities, which are held by the candidate or the employee right now. And here we compare them with the key performance indicators in order to see to what extent this employee had achieved his or her own target, and again, achieving the organization strategy. The second important thing to be measured within the performance appraisal or the performance management system is the competences. And again, these are the key behavior indicators or the competences the employee had in order to achieve the results. Again, after the measuring the performance, here is an important arrow again from the performance management, again for the training and development. And this is a very important arm because it differentiates performance management from performance appraisal. It is not just measuring the performance of the candidate, but actually improving the performance. And this is a core importance, a core difference between the performance appraisal and the performance management. Here it's very important, after doing the appraisal, again, the candidate will be shifted again to the function of training and development by doing the IDP or the individual development plan, or sometimes known as the PDP, the personal development plan. And this is a very important thing in order to achieve excellence in the forthcoming performances, in order to have a further step for this individual. And again, these will affect a very important thing known as the career path. Again, promotion, demotion, transfer, termination will depend upon two important factors. The first one is the performance of the employee. The second one is the training and development the employee have done in order to improve his or her performance in the future. And this is how training and development and performance are linked to the career path as a strategy for this arm. The last arm is the job evaluation, and here it assesses the relative worth of the job or the relative weight. And this is a very important tool in order to plot the salary structure and have the full payment for the employee. Again, if we add the incentives for the salary structure, and again, we add the benefits, here we're gonna have a total rewards management. And again, total rewards is again linked to the organization strategy, the structure, and the job analysis. An important arm again from the performance management will affect the incentives of the individual, of the employee. According to their performance, they are going to have some sort of financial incentives in terms of bonuses, commissions, merit increase, profit share, employee stock ownership plans, and so on. Again, this is an important thing in order to reward employees for their performance and to motivate them in order to achieve more and more, in order to have the organization strategy and plan fulfilled by doing their work effectively and efficiently. If we have a greater look for this chart, we're gonna see two important arms. The first arm is the what. Again, this discusses the results according to which the employees are going to be evaluated. And the second arm, which is an important one again, is the how arm. And this is again according to the behaviors, the key behavioral indices, our index, our indicators, how these behaviors and how these competencies will going to affect the results. And again, as we have mentioned, competencies are collectively known as knowledge, skills, abilities, attitudes that enable performance. Okay, going for the second slide, this is how to build the competency models as an important arm in order to check how employees are achieving their goals by having the proper competences known as knowledge, skills, abilities, and attitudes. And again, we are going to build the competency model based upon the company vision, mission, and values, as we had mentioned in the previous slide. Again, according to the company mission, vision, values, this is how you turn the intangible mission, vision, values. We already found them on the websites, on the walls, on whatsoever, but actually we don't have a measuring tool to measure these mission, vision, values. Here is the way in order to transfer these intangible mission, vision, values into more tangible competences. And here we have three groups of competences, namely the core common competences, also known as the organization-wide competences. And we have the leadership competences, and we have the pillars known as the technical competences. And again, the technical competences can be split down into two important categories. The first is the job family competences. Namely, it could be for the HR, for sales, for marketing, for production, for R&D, whatsoever. And again, into the job-specific competences. Yani within the HR department, we find talent acquisition, talent development, talent retention, talent identification, and these are job-specific competences. And this is how we build the competency model based upon the mission, vision, and values of the organization. In the coming slide, we are going to see the difference between these three categories regarding the core, the leadership, and what we have mentioned, the technical or functional competences. Again, the core of the organization competences, as we have mentioned, they are required for excellence across all levels and all functions. And here we mean by levels, is it an entry level, junior, senior, team leader, supervisor, middle manager, top management, and so on. And by the function, we mean different departments. And here, as we see, the core organization competences are required for the excellence across all levels and all functions. But they are required for all employees within the organization. And again, this gives the organization the identity in their relevant field. Going to the second group of competences known as the leadership competences. And these are success factors that differentiate performance across levels. These leadership competences have nothing to do with the functions. Again, it is just broken down into first level, mid-level, and executive. Again, it depends only upon the level, but not the function. As we are going to see, if you are a manager or a leader in whichever the department, there are some competences that should be included in your job specification, regardless in which department you are. The third group of competences are the functional competences, and these again are success factors that distinguish performance in separate functions. Here, we split these technical or functional competences for marketing department, R&D, sales and business development, manufacturing, HR, IT, supply chain, and finance. Here, these functional or technical competences will depend only upon the function, regardless the level within these functions. Okay, let's see some examples of these competences regarding the core competences of some selected organizations. For American Express, they have chosen customer service, reliability, and initiative. Usually, organizations select from 3 to 5 core competences based upon, as we have mentioned, mission, vision, and values. For Boeing, they have chosen leading edge, pioneers, challenges and risk, product safety and quality, integrity and ethics, and aeronautics. For General Electric, again, they started with technology and innovation, which is very important for them, for their life cycle for General Electric. And again, they choose balance among stakeholders, responsibility and opportunity, honesty and integrity. And as we have mentioned before, this gave the company a special identity within their relevant field. For P&G, Procter & Gamble, they start with the product excellence, which is a mainstay for the company, self-improvement, honesty and fairness, respect for individuals. And this is how organizations select their core competences depending upon their mission, vision, and values. Let's have a look for the second group of competences, which are the leadership competences. And here, as we have mentioned, these competences are split again according to the level of management. Here we find executives, head of departments and directors, we find the mid-level managers, and we find the first level, which are section head, team leaders, supervisors, and so on. For executive, we have chosen something like delegation, to what extent they can delegate their authority for their subordinates in terms of the mid-level managers, to what extent they have leadership and strategic orientation. They should have a vision, they should have a strategy in order to pave the way for the mid-level managers in order to have their path. For the mid-manager, we have selected other leadership competences, namely decision-making. Yes, they have delegation from their managers, and at that time they should make decision in order to have the strategy already on track. Again, developing others is very important competency for the middle management in order to develop the first line supervisors, section heads, and so on. And again, they should be result-oriented or achievement-oriented. The executive have the strategic direction, and the middle managers are achievement or result-oriented. For the first level, we choose the initiative in order to start doing work without having someone on their head. Stress management, because they confront all the problems coming from the employees and other individuals. And again, sure, for this provision as a leadership competency. And this, again, as we have mentioned, are the leadership competences. And each organization select again from 3 to 5 for each of their relevant levels in order to plot their leadership competences. The third group of competences, as we have mentioned, namely the technical or the functional competences. And here, these competences will depend upon the function or the department, but not the level. Again, we can see for the HR department, it could be counseling, consulting, and influencing others. Because the HR have two main functions, the staff and the line management. But for the staff management, it is important to counsel, to consult, and to influence all other departments within the organization. For the operation, we have selected team focus and technical credibility. Again, for the finance, we may choose the physical resource management and analytical thinking. This is very important competency for the finance department. So here, as we have seen, we have already changed the mission, vision, and values, which are usually not tangible and present only on the website of the organization or in the orientation package, sometimes on banners. We have changed them into something which is more tangible regarding the technical competences, leadership competences, and again, the core competences. Here come another example for Bavarian Auto Group, which are BMW and Mini Cooper. And this is the future retail competency model for customer-facing staff. Here, they choose to split their competences into 4 main pillars, including the core competences, the leadership competences, and the technical competences, all through and all together. They start with inspire customers, drive business, builds on our strengths, and accelerate performance. Regarding inspire customers, they choose customer and service orientation, relationship building, communication with impact, brand identification with BMW and Mini Cooper. Drive business, again, they choose problem solving, business-oriented thinking and resource management, building strategy and driving change. For build on our strengths, they select team orientation, performance management, which is our topic for today, employee development and motivation. Last but not least is the accelerate performance, motivation to perform and achieve result, as we have mentioned, result oriented or achievement oriented, flexibility and willingness to learn, self-management and resilience. And these are the competences required for whichever the job for customer-facing staff. As we're going to see For this slide, it's a very important slide because this will be the basis for the competency-based interview, as we're going to see in the forthcoming slides. Here, for the sales advisor, as we see here in the title, this is the competency profile for the sales advisor. And again, they have the previously mentioned competences, but here they add a very important thing, which is the proficiency level of each competency within this job title. But again, we inspire customers, including customer and service orientation. The target profile is level 5. But again, level 3 will be considered as the minimum criteria for selection. And here, if we go for the competency dictionary, you will find the description, what is meant by level 5 or proficiency level 5, what is meant by level 4, what is 3, what is 2, and what is 1. For example, 5 here, they mention it is strategic direction for customer and service orientation. Level 4 is building, fostering a culture for customer orientation. Level 3 is anticipating and adapting for customer needs. Level 2 is building positive relation with customers. And level 1 is only responding for customer requests. But here we can see that they have selected the target profile is the strategic orientation. But again, if you anticipate and adapt for the customer needs, it will be minimum criteria for selection. But level 2 and level 1 will be considered below the target and below the minimum criteria for selection. Again, for relationship building, they select level 5, but again, level 3 is the minimum criteria for the sales advisor. Communication with impact, level 4 is the target, level 2 is the minimum criteria for selection, and so on. And again, this will comprise the competency matrix regarding the level of proficiency of each of the previously mentioned competences within this specific job. Let's see another example, which is the service advisor. And again, here they plot the competences, as we have mentioned, into the 4 pillars, but the proficiency level is changing from one job to another according to the needs of the job and how they manage and how they interact with the customers. And this will be a very important thing, our base for conducting the competency-based interview. As we're going to see, if you have a candidate applying for a service advisor job and you start asking them questions regarding the competences, and you find them in level 2, customer orientation, level 1, relationship building, level 1, communication, level 2, problem solving, level 3, motivation, level 2, flexibility, level 3, team orientation. Again, all their marks are below the minimum criteria for selection. And again, these candidate is not suitable for this relevant job. As we have mentioned, these are the base for the competency-based interview. As the competency model or the competency matrix comprises a very important thing. Usually we have a very famous quote, hire hard, manage easy. If you have some time, in order to check the competences within the candidate, and you select actually the right candidate in the right position at the right time, you are going to have the management later on in a very easy manner. But if you start hiring whichever is present without digging deeper into the competences, you will find it a very difficult job to manage these people later on. Okay, coming for our topic for today, which is the performance management. As we have paved the way with the previous slides, Now we are going to talk about the performance management as a gap closing strategy. Again, for the performance management, it differs from the performance appraisal, as we have mentioned. The performance appraisal, you just measure the performance of the individuals, but it is insufficient part for performance management. It is just one step, which is the performance appraisal. But in order to have a full system, you should have these 4 steps. You start with the performance planning. And again, the performance planning start at the level of the organization. As we have mentioned previously, the organization strategy, which will be split or broken down into departmental goals and objectives, and later on for individual goals. And here, as we have mentioned, the definition of performance management is it is an integrated system ensuring that each individual is working toward the goal of the organization. And such, as we have mentioned, we start with the goal of the organization, and then it is cascaded down into departmental goals, and then cascaded down into individual goals. And this is how we start doing the performance planning. And this is very important because by the end of 2020, we start putting the goals for 2021. And again, we start reviewing to what extent we have achieved our previous year goals. Okay, here come the role of the manager, which is coaching and feedback. It is not just putting the performance goal and then reviewing the performance appraisal with their relevant subordinates. Here comes a very important second step, which is a very important competency for all managerial levels and positions, which is coaching, support, and feedback. This is a continuous process as we have seen. It is performance planning, ending with ing, coaching, ing. And this is another difference between the performance appraisal and performance management. Performance appraisal is a continuous process. Usually, I explain it as a video, whereas the performance appraisal is the screenshot. At a time, we stop and we take a shot, we take a performance appraisal form.